Hi, and thanks for joining me today. So I just finished a card project using the Spellbinders card kit of the month from August 2019. It's called Hang With Me, and I am fairly certain that it is not available for sale anymore, but some of the kit contents are available, the ones that you can buy as extras. And so I think that includes maybe the stickers and the die cut ephemera packs and things like that. I don't think that you can get the die set though, because I think that is exclusive to the card kit. I picked this up when they had it on spring clearance sale. It's as a subscriber, if you do subscribe, that's already great value for money. I'm not a subscriber, but what I've been doing is sort of evaluating different card kit of the month subscription packages by buying them when they go on sale, which sometimes, not always, you can find. Um, so I wanted to just see for myself, how easily I could use up the kit contents and just kind of try it before I subscribe. Every card kit of the month from various brands and companies, they don't lock you into anything. And so it wouldn't necessarily be the end of the world to subscribe, but I did want to try out different kits before I even started up a subscription. And so when Spellbinders had their sale, I did pick up several. But with this Hang With Me card kit in particular, I had this project in mind to do, and so I'll be sharing that with you. The kit comes in a beautiful box and has 8.5 by 11 cardstock as well. But this is how I've been storing it. I buy the Sizzix 6 by 9 stamp and die folders, and so I just found that the packaging that those folders come in are really perfect for storing leftovers from the Spellbinders kits, including this little info sheet that comes with the kit. So this is how I've been storing my kits after the fact. The cardstock I just put in my cardstock stash. So that's nice and handy. Got everything in there. So you can, hard to tell, but there's still quite a lot of this kit left over. But let me show you and talk a little bit more about this project. So a while ago, a couple months ago now, I sent out several cards, just a humor card about coronavirus. It was it's back in March, right when things were starting to kind of break out, and there were these kind of stay-at-home orders. And the big funny thing at the moment was that everybody was like buying up toilet paper, and so I made up a coronavirus card that said the sentiment was something like, just in case, uh, and then when you open the card, let me see if I still have it. Oh, I have one extra. I made these little vellum envelopes, and the sentiment says, "We have a square to spare," and I tucked a square of toilet paper inside the envelope. It was just, I thought it was funny, and I sent it out, and my friends and family thought it was funny too. That was not knowing that we would be, months down the road still, in stay-at-home mode. And so this time around, I really wanted to send out encouragement cards because not only with the pandemic, but with a lot of the other things going on right now, I think everybody's just feeling a mix of emotions, and I include myself in that. And I found just in making these encouragement cards, just a lot of positive, good vibes as well, because, I got to read all of these different sentiments as I was picking and choosing them out too. And so I definitely wanted to kind of send these out to all the same people I sent out the original one, but included some people who I know are having a difficult time of it. And so So let me just show you what I've made. This first set of cards that I'll be showing use the card kit elements, but really just the ephemera pack or the die cuts and stickers. So these cards come together really, really quickly. Um, these first two are sort of a 2-for-1, and if you have not used the Spellbinders card kits before, the die cut elements, you get two of each, just like you see here. And they have die cuts that are images, they have die cut sentiments and things like that in various sizes as well, so you can really, there's a really good mix. And sometimes you can, if you are only using one on a particular card, you could potentially make the card twice. And this case, I'm using one of the 4x6 journaling cards. The journaling cards, there is only one of each. So I cut it at an angle just so that I could use it on two cards. And on the other half of the card, I used, in this case, pattern paper, and then over here, some solid cardstock that came in with the kit. And then I just put a collage together of the different die cut ephemera images and accented it with some of the flatback pearls in my stash, and some of the elements I did put on foam, so there's a little bit of dimension there. The sentiment on this one reads, "I love lazy days, #time for myself." So I put together a collection of things that I thought sort of went well together as maybe things that you might indulge yourself with or treat yourself with, or have some time for self-care, so like music, maybe some bubble tea, some ice cream, a little online shopping. And then the flamingo here, that was super cute, kind of goes with the flamingo that's on the pattern paper. And then this one says, "I love lazy days, free to be me." So I thought that was kind of cute. A lot of the sentiments I tried to pick were ones where sort of embracing the whole idea of having to stay at home and a little bit more these days than normal. This one is "Happy Days, I love hanging out." This is another 4x6 journal card that I just cut off the top, and I'll use the top on a different card. And the journaling cards do have rounded corners, and they are double-sided, and so you do only get one, so you have to pick which side you want to use. And then I rounded the corners of the pattern paper so that it matched the rounded corners of the journaling card. And then this one I thought was really cute too. So this particular card kit came with journaling cards in two different sizes. So the previous two cards that I showed, they have the larger journaling cards, the 4x6 ones, and this is 3x4. And this is a sticker, actually, that I mounted onto some of the gold foil cardstock and then mounted that onto foam. And I wanted to pick up the gold both in the lettering of the sticker as well as the little hint of gold. Some of these ephemera die cuts actually have some gold foiling on them, so they're really pretty. This sentiment reads, "Attitude is everything. Positive mind, positive vibes, positive life." I thought that was really awesome. This one is, it looked like a really strange pattern paper. These folks, I think mostly women. Men do yoga too, but I think this is mostly women, if not all women. They're all doing yoga, and this is one of the die cuts in the ephemera pack that is sort of one of those sort of mandala designs. And the die cut itself is circular already, so I just found some circle dies in my stash to cut out just sort of a nesting circle that was just a little bit larger than the die cut, and then one that was just a little bit larger still. So I had to get one that had it just happened to be the ones that I had have a plain edge, and then this one has the stitched edge. Those were the ones that kind of nested without too much of a gap. So that's how I came up with that. But this is just a little bit of that gold card, and then the powder sort of blue cardstock that came with the kit. And then I used just a small strip of the gold cardstock to add this accent line here. And the sentiment reads, lazy day, but it's okay. Time to relax. Namaste in bed. I just thought that was really cute and funny. So, if folks are finding that they have to be home a little bit more, maybe, just take that as a moment to rest and relax, catch up on some sleep. This isn't necessarily a coronavirus, COVID-19 hang in there type card, but it just evolved into a true friendship card, which I thought was kind of cute. So here I used, just picked a portion of this pattern paper that had the two parakeets looking at each other, and then this is a die cut of a frame, and nested inside the frame is a lot of separate die cuts that you can separate out. So that was pretty cool. You can get a lot out of that. But I just took the frames and then I sort of interlaced them in each other to sort of mimic the look of those geometric frames that are really hot right now. And I love how this card came together because, as with all of the card kits, everything is just so well coordinated, and they really do work hard to kind of put together a color palette and have various elements. There's going to be at least something else in the kit that you can use to kind of pick up on those same colors. And so in this case, this is a one of the die cut elements, and I just mounted on some white cardstock from my stash, and then I used the pattern paper that, again, the color just matches beautifully. This is their cardstock in their card kit, which goes really nicely with the frames and everything. And I just kind of cleaned up the edge with some Love from Lizzie's pinstripe peel off stickers, so there's just a thin line of it there. And I like to do that whenever I'm butting up, two different patterns or pattern paper and solid, just to give it a really clean sort of professional edge and make it seem very intentional, as opposed to just like using up scraps, which I kind of was in this case. And then this is another one that I thought was really cute. It uses another one of the 3x4 journaling cards, and what was interesting was this die cut, sort of similar to the frames, has like an inner layer of the flower that is completely cut out, and you can detach it like I did the top one. So I did use both die cuts, but just the inside of the second die cut to give this flower more dimension and make it a little bit more 3D. And it's kind of like those decoupage, die cuts or stickers where you can kind of stack multiple copies of different portions of the image to kind of give it a more raised 3D look. So, and then I just put a little glue dot to adhere that. So those were all made using elements from the kit that were sort of pre-mades. Now, to kind of show you the die cuts and the stamp. So this is the cute little sloth. So you cut out his different body parts and assemble him together. The die cut set comes with the tree branch and then these leaves. And I just found it easiest to cut it out of colored cardstock. So I use colored cardstock from my stash to cut these elements out. And then I use some Nuvo drops in their Morning Dew to make these little water droplets on the leaves, which I think are just really, they dry super clear and it really does look like a water droplet. And then the sentiment I have on this card is "Don't hurry, be happy." And I just inked the background, just kind of a messy sky, cloudy sky with some Distress Oxide ink. And then on this one, I, same thing, just a different collection of the flowers. And then this is a female sloth with a little flower in her fur. And then in this case, I put the sentiment on some banner flags and pop that up on some foam. And then just another iteration. So here I just used some pattern paper, 2 different pattern papers, and then I just did a strip of, again, just to clean up that edge, just a strip of the pink cardstock that came in the kit. And this is another of the stamp sentiments. It just says "Take it easy," and I stamped it with, I think, walnut stained Distress Oxide ink and onto this very soft pink cardstock from my stash, and I mounted that on the gold cardstock. So there's that. And then this one might be my favorite. So this is the one of the pattern papers, and I white embossed "Sending You Sunshine and Smiles." This came from a stamp set from Altnu. I think it's the Oriental Orchid. Yeah, Oriental Orchid stamp set. And this is a little pop-up card. And so he's got trees hanging out, and he's actually comes off and he's posable, so you can move his legs all around. I got the idea to do this because I saw a stamp and die set from Art Impressions, and theirs was a different idea, but essentially the idea of having kind of the posable movable limbs I got from them. But it's really easy to do if you ever want to do this for yourself. If you have a die cut set of critters or whatever that has a die for the part that you want to move that's separate from, you know, the main structure, like the legs, there are different die cuts for all 4 legs. And so you can die cut that independent of the body. And then I just use these little brads. So the head of the brad is on the back here. And then I just use a pokey tool to pierce a hole through the leg, the body, and the front leg. All I did was I die cut the front leg twice. And the first one of them has a hole poked through, and the legs of the brad are coming through that, and then, you know, I fold that back. How tight or how loose you flatten the legs of the brad will kind of determine how easily or freely the legs move. So if you want it to somewhat hold its position, then you want to go a little bit tighter. If you want the legs to just kind of move a lot more freely, like the front legs do, then you just flatten those a little bit looser. So then the second die cut of the front leg, I just put right over top to cover the tines or the legs of the brad. That way you have a nice polished, clean look. So that's all you have to do. It's not that hard. And I have him here just loosely because I wanted to position and make sure I could close the card and, you know, have him not show up. But I just might leave him just hanging out and then have people be able to take it out and play with it if they want. I think it's kind of cute. So that's that card. So I think we're already at maybe 11 cards, but my first round of cards that I sent out when the pandemic first started, I think I sent to about 20 people, so then I wanted to kind of speed things up a little, and so I came up with a design that I could do in bulk. So this is what I came up with. I did definitely want to use the die cut, so these did take a little bit of time to die cut, but if you do it assembly line style, meaning like you do one thing multiple times and you just keep making multiple passes until you have the full thing done, it goes by a lot faster than doing assembling the sloth in full or doing one card in full. So I did all of my paper cutting, and then all of the die cutting and all of that just in stages. And this ended up going a lot faster than you would think. But all of the cards are essentially the same, and I just used different leftover pattern paper from the earlier set of cards that I created, and just came up with different ways that I can put them together or combine them so that I could just make efficient use of the pattern paper. And so the sentiment I came up with was, hang in there, a new, better normal is coming. And I hear the phrase, I guess this is our new normal, and I hear that a lot, and I just think, I don't know that I want this to be the new normal. I'm, waiting for, hoping to create a new, better normal, and so that's what I wanted to kind of pass along to folks who are just feeling maybe a little bit down given everything that's happening in the news, to just kind of hang in there, because this is going to be the spark of change that is going to ultimately result in just a new, better normal. Okay, so then just talking through what I have on the card here, I made this, the front sentiment, using my We Are Memory Keepers word punch board. And then I stamped the back or the inside of the card using my pegs stamps. So I find the combination of those two things and things like alphabet dies and stuff like that, you can really just then create these in the moment cards using whatever sentiment you want, and it's unlikely that there's going to be a stamp set that is going to have exactly the sentiment that you want to get across. And so having those tools in my craft room have really helped me to make very unique and personalized and customized cards like these. Okay, so and then all of them just have very simply one little flower on them. But in this case, I did take a little bit of time to cup the flowers to give them a little bit of dimension. And then I make my own sort of shimmer pen, and so I just gave them a little wash of my shimmer pen, and then I'll go back and maybe I'll add like a little pearl in the center, but I think they all look really nice as is. And this is another example where I use some of the Love from Lizzie's pinstripe peel-off stickers to kind of create like that nice finished edge where the two papers meet up. Okay, so then I did make a lot of these, and they are a weird size because I'm trying to use up these envelopes that I have that are like really small. They must be thank you card envelopes or little note card envelopes. I don't know where I got them or how long ago they're from, but I was just looking around trying to clear out some stuff, and so I figured out the size and then just made these to fit. So really super simple. Just made the sloths in a lot of different colors, and these sloths, if you only have like the Sizzix Sidekick, or I have the Spellbinder Prism mini die cut machine, you can do all the die cutting for these sloths on one of those smaller machines, and it's super handy. I found it really fast because you just pass it through just for that small little section. And a lot of these have the little peel off stickers. I just think that those small little touches like that, and the little shimmer Wink of Stella, if you have Wink of Stella, that works too. I use my white jelly roll pen to put the little eye highlight in. So just those little touches I think really help spiffy up the card and make it just look a little bit more finished and polished. Again, the peel off. They have them love from Lizzie's. They sell them in so many different colors, so many different finishes. So I just went through my stash. The last time she had her free shipping sale, because they do ship out of the UK. And so shipping can be a little bit expensive if you're here in the US like me. And so occasionally, though, she will have a free shipping sale. And if you buy enough peel off stickers in your order, then you can qualify for free shipping. So I just loaded up and just picked a variety of different colors. And she's got glitter, she's got holographic, flat, glossy, matte, all sorts of thicknesses. I like the pinstripe because you get a variety of widths, but then she's got them in like different shapes now too, so you can get zigzag, you can get sort of scalloped. There's a ton out there. And then this card, I just used little strips. I mean, I was really getting to, using all my little scraps. But I like how it came out. I really love this sort of way of using up your strips. So these were the cards that I made in bulk. So you can see there's 10 cards right here. They're all the same, but they're all like different ways of using up your scraps. When you have really pretty pattern paper, it's, for me, hard to just chuck them in the bin. Like I want to try to use them all up. And I'll show you these two. They aren't finished cards, they're just card fronts. I guess this one has the sentiment, so I might use that. But this is another example of that whole idea of just using up your thin strips that you have left over. So I just framed the parakeet and just put these strips together, kind of like a quilt pattern. If you do any quilting, this probably looks a lot like one of those quilting blocks. But I will say that if you're looking for a very efficient use of like just small scraps, this design with the strips going on an angle really makes good use of those strips, because take for example this strip that's running this way, so it's that long. But if you had like a strip that was maybe twice as long, like the full 6 inches, what's left over after you cut this edge off, you could possibly use on another spot on this card, because each of these strips gets progressively shorter as it works its way to the corner. So you can see this strip, you might have needed like a good 4 inches or so, but this strip is smaller, shorter, so maybe 3.5, and then this is maybe 2.5, and that's 2, and so on and so forth. So whatever offcut came from these longer strips, you could potentially take that and use it. Like this one is just like a small little 1/2 inch strip. So you could really use up everything that you have, even the shortest of strips. On a pattern that's more like this, all of the strips are the same length. And so first off, you need strips that are that long. And second, whatever's left over isn't likely going to be long enough to use, in another section on the same card front. So just something to keep in mind. Like aesthetically, it's two very different looks, and I like them both. But when I'm looking to like really use up like some beautiful pattern paper, like every square, centimeter of it, then I tend to gravitate towards this diagonal design, because you can really use up those super small strips. Like, this corner, there's just the smallest of strips right there. And I mean, that's only maybe about, an inch long. So just something to keep in mind, different ways to kind of, use up materials to their best. So thanks so much for joining me. I hope that even though the kit's not available anymore, I think some of these elements are. I don't think the die cut is. The stamp might be. I didn't use the stamp set too much in my cards, but I think maybe the journaling cards. I'll leave a link to all of that on Spellbinders, so you can kind of check it out and see if the ephemera packs or stickers and whatnot are still available. So, but if you do happen to have this card kit, hopefully this video gives you some ideas for good variety of different cards that you can make from it, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for joining me, and until my next video, have a fantastic day.